Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Tucker, Product Manager for the Personal Productivity Group here at GitLab. We're going to take a look at our 17.7 plans this afternoon. We've got two key themes this milestone. We are going to continue addressing the to-do list feedback we've heard from our internal team members, and then we're going to ship this new view-based experience to our customers on GitLab.com. So looking first at the design direction, we finished up a lot of the foundational design work for maturing the to-do list. So features like snoozing, like full text search, like bulk editing, we've got those designed and validated, and they're in the engineering team backlog ready to go. So at this point, we're going to start looking into the next stage of the work that we're planning on notifications, which is to rename to-dos to notifications. So this may be a controversial change for some folks. So to talk more about why we're doing this, there are two key reasons. One is that the existing to-do list has a relatively low customer adoption. We've got really good adoption internally. Folks really love to-dos, but when we go out into the wild, we do not see the same usage that we see amongst our team members. When we've interviewed customers about this, we found that they didn't expect to find notifications in a to-do list. Now, when we showed them the content that was there, they noted that it really did work well and it met their needs. It had the content that they were looking for. They just wouldn't have discovered it on their own. So by renaming it, we can use a more conventional name like notifications that folks are going to find more organically. The second is that the to-do list is just simply not a to-do list. Like, it does not provide any of the functionality that users expect in personal task management software. So features like creating new to-dos, breaking down existing work into smaller tasks, setting dates and priorities, collaborating with comments and assignment. Our to-dos don't do any of that. They're very fixed and rigid. And so by freeing up the name to do, we give ourselves the opportunity to explore that sort of functionality in the future, possibly by building on top of custom work items based off the work that product planning and portfolio management teams are working on. So we're going to start design work there, mainly to unpack the work that we're going to have to do across the product. For example, we've got things like this, add a to-do item that we'll have to revisit. But beyond that, we're going to be looking to support our research around the personalized homepage experience. Our UX researcher has been conducting some user interviews in the last few weeks, and now we need some design resources to help flesh out some of the things that they're exploring and validating. If we have capacity, we're going to look at one of our other ideas that we had originally explored for the to-do list but haven't moved into yet, which is the idea of grouping to-do items on the to-do list. On the engineering side, our work is going to be focused on shipping this new experience to all customers on GitLab.com. The idea being that we'll have validated internally in 17.6, validated on .com in 17.7, and then we can enable it by default for all users in the 17.8 release. So we've got a few items that we're going to address first based on our internal feedback process. The first being handling inaccessible content. The experience right now, some folks sound a little weird, but at the same time, we didn't want to go all the way back to the alert dialog that we had previously, where you had a big banner at the top of the page that said, you can't see this and you need to refresh. So the new design is going to look something like this. We're going to show the to-dos that are available for you to see, but not show you any of the details that are potentially sensitive until you have authenticated with SAML. So this will hopefully be the best of both worlds, where folks can see that they do have more things hidden behind an auth login wall, while giving them still a really quick and easy way to actually log in. Next up, we're going to be looking at bulk editing for to-dos. A lot of the feedback we've received internally could be addressed by this, folks wanting to clear out lists of items, of to-do items very quickly. So we're going to look to pull this work up. We scoped it down a little bit to remove some of the snoozing concepts because that work is going to come a little bit later. And we can see an example, zoom this out, of what this may look like here, right? So we're gonna introduce some checkboxes, allow folks to tick them off, and then they'll have some new bulk actions that are available for them to interact with. Zoom this back in. We're also going to be resuming our work on snoozing notifications. We have a lot of the backend for this already built. We just need to start introducing some of this into the UI so that folks can actually interact with it. This may not land in the 17.7 timeframe, but hopefully we'll get it in there as pretty early in 17.8 at the latest. And my cursor is beach balling. Okay, now we're back. Technical difficulties. So here's an example of what the design for snoozing is going to look like. We're going to introduce a new action on the individual to-do rows, giving you some quick options for snoozing for an hour till later today or till tomorrow, or give you the option to choose a specific time and date. Those items that are snoozed will head up into the snoozed menu in the upper left, so you'll have access to get back to those if you want them. All right. And on to our last item for the 17.7 timeline. We are going to work on an architectural blueprint for notifications. We have a lot of ambitious plans for notifications and to-dos and need some backend work to ensure that our existing stack can support that. So our engineers in this milestone are going to start doing some of that research and some of that authoring so that we have a better direction for where to go long term. Okay, so those were our plans for the 17.7 milestone. If you have any thoughts or feedback, please reach out. We are happy to chat.